There's not a single act of impeachable misconduct alleged by these articles. The process was an embarrassment to the House of Representatives. These articles are laughable on their face.
Alejandro Mayorkas was impeached by the MAGA House for one reason and one reason only. They wanted to get Biden, but they couldn't. They tried and they failed spectacularly.
This is the same hearing over and over and over. At what point are you going to fish or cut bait?
So now Mike Johnson and his altar boys are trying to blame, shame, flame the Secretary of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas. But only the Republican Party could foobar this so badly.
These articles are laughable on their face. One article accuses the Secretary of a high crime and misdemeanor for failing to stop millions of non-citizens from being released into the United States. Let's be clear. Despite Congress's inability to respond to this crisis, the Biden administration and Secretary Mayorkas have removed, returned, or expelled more migrants in 3 years than the Trump administration did in 4 years. The annual apprehension rate is the exact same between the Trump administration and the Biden administration. Another impeachment article rages about the immigration court backlog, a backlog that has existed in Republican and Democratic administrations, a backlog that is the consequence of Congress's unwillingness to adequately fund a solution, a backlog that, wait for it, would have been solved by the bipartisan border bill that the House Republicans, so honestly concerned about the state of immigration, killed.
The Republican Party is losing all hope. They have tied their political future to these lies and obfuscations. The first is that Joe Biden is a feeble and senile old man. Oops. Biden not only rope-a-dope Trump and his little incels at the State of the Union, they actually said he was on drugs.
I'm not a doctor, but they're giving him something, Jessica. Listen.
By the way, Biden is now leading in all the major polls. Then there was abortion. Someone somewhere in the bowels of the Republican Party thought it would be a good idea to imprison women for protecting their bodies and calling them murderers. That's not working out. But the border will still be the great Republican hope. Hope that they can lie their way through a victory in the fall. And what is their plan? Racism. All of Trump's little monkeys parrot the same shrill tone. We're being invaded, build a wall, fentanyl, and terrorism. But it's not going the way they expected. By the way, have you met Jamie Raskin?
One of our colleagues said that the founders never anticipated that you would have huge numbers of people who couldn't vote who are being counted. Of course they did. The vast majority of Americans couldn't vote when the country started.
That's not what my colleague said.
But then I stand corrected. What did he say?
He said the founders never anticipated this volume of illegals.
Okay, well, I will take on.
He didn't say that they don't twist my colleague's words.
Fair enough. That you're very valiant to rise to his defense. I will answer that misnomer on his part. Then, if what he said they never anticipated that number of illegal people, there was no immigration law when the Constitution was adopted at all. In fact, the only illegals in the country, at least according to the native population, were the people writing the Constitution.
That reminds me of Dick Gregory, the comedian activist who once joked, "We discovered America? There were people living here." That's like walking up to somebody sitting in their car, sticking a gun in their face, saying, "Hey, we just discovered your car." When Republicans talk about our founding fathers, technically, they were illegals. And the border, Texas, Arizona, California, all belong to Mexico. For the Republicans watching this, it gets worse. Biden has deported a higher percentage of migrants than Trump did. He also detained more migrants, began more electronic surveillance on migrants released in the U.S., and has Mexico apprehending more migrants to do their part. On Biden's first day, he introduced an immigration reform bill to Congress. Did you know that? One of the parts of the bill was to focus on addressing the root causes of migration to lessen it. But that doesn't resonate because, as Trump and Mike Johnson proved, they don't give a damn about stopping immigrants. They just want to scare you with it.
The House Republicans have said they don't favor increasing the number of border agents. And you heard Speaker Johnson down at the border yesterday that they're not interested in moving forward.
After the end of Title 42, you remember that? Biden put in motion the circumvention of lawful pathways rule that would have significantly restricted asylum, including essentially a shutdown between ports of entry. It was blocked by Congress. Biden then went to work with conservative Senator Jim Lankford on a bipartisan border bill, which would have immediately shut down the border when encounters reached a certain level, reduced the number of migrants entering the U.S., but the Republicans showed you who they are. They defeated their own bill because that would have addressed the issues they've been bitching about since day one, because they don't want the problem fixed.
But what makes me most angry about this impeachment is its attempts to personally impugn Secretary Mayorkas. His life is one of public service. The youngest U.S. attorney confirmed by the Senate, the former director of USCIS, the former deputy director of DHS. He has sought out the toughest, most controversy-laden jobs in government. He was in the room personally for nearly all of our 4 months of torturous negotiations. Why? Because Republicans and Democrats trusted him. Because Republicans asked for him to be in that room because they knew that he would be an honest broker.
As I said, Republicans couldn't get Biden, so they went after Mayorkas, and they will fail again. Biden wasn't lying when he said he's done what he can. There are legal limits on the power of the president. The real reason Republicans say Biden can solve this on his own is because that's the power they want for Trump. They don't want a democracy because in a democracy, Republicans lose.
I want to be a dictator.
And for the record, Trump also tried to shut down the border in 2018, and the courts blocked him too.
She had been sex trafficked by the cartels starting at the age of 12. She told me not just that she was raped every day, but how many times a day she was raped.
When Sally Buttermilk here clutched her pearls and lied about an immigrant murdering an American under Biden, it was embarrassing. Why?
Joe Biden's 5 million illegal aliens are on the verge of replacing you, replacing your jobs, and replacing your kids in school. And coming from all over the world, they're also replacing your culture.
The woman wasn't even killed in the U.S., and it didn't happen under Biden, but under Bush. But my favorite border lie is that terrorists will come across and attack our American principles, values, and the integrity of our democratic republic. Where are they? They're not here yet. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. There are terrorists here. Have you met Captain Man-Titties?
To the Capitol.
The real terrorists are operating in plain sight. You saw them on January the 6th, and the rest are on the House and Senate floors, egging on white supremacists to attack not just the Capitol, but our people. You probably know the rest, that the people entering the U.S. without documentation are better Americans than the ones storming the Capitol. They commit fewer crimes per capita, have a higher rate of vaccinations, divorce at 1/5 the rate of Americans, and attend church 10 times more frequently than Catholics in the U.S.
Would you also agree that Emma Lazarus's words etched on the Statue of Liberty, "Give me your tired, your poor," are also part of the American ethos?
They certainly are. Give me your tired and your poor who can stand on their own 2 feet and who will not become a public charge.
Alejandro Mayorkas is one of the good guys caught up in the Trump-led demonization against any and all people of color. He has led an exemplary life, and after this mess, he'll go back to his job as head of Homeland Security, keeping America safe. Not so much from enemies abroad, but from ourselves.
It's time to pack it up. Impeachment is dead. Dunzo. Bye-bye. Rigor mortis. Lights out. Curtain drop. Mic drop. Peace. Adios. Sayonara. Au revoir.
Who's with me? This isn't their Republican Party anymore.
Am I wrong?
Damn right.
Yes. Tick-tock.
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
Follow, like, and please subscribe to Really American, where we keep you up to date on the latest Republican cult lie in this very important year. Hey, and make sure you join us as a member on Patreon, where we can connect directly with you and enable us to expand, make more videos, and hire more hosts. Can't do it without you. For Really American,
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.